Hey guys, it's Jay from Hustle Paintball, and today we're going to talk about the new upgraded trigger system for the Tippmann crossover. Now, the trigger was the hang-up on the original crossover when it first came out. Tippmann heard your guys' complaints and has addressed it. The new trigger will not only have a lighter pull, has a better geometry, and actually has a different surface for where your fingers rest against the trigger. So that's all adds up to a much better experience. But rather than just sit here and talk about it, guys, what we're going to do, we're going to take this crossover apart and actually show you how to install the new trigger. Now, it will, of course, come with instructions, but since you guys are already watching, why don't you just follow along? Keep in mind, this upgrade is only necessary if you're not buying a crossover new. If you do have an existing one, then you will, of course, have to install this. That's really what we're talking about. If you buy a new one, this new trigger is already going to be installed. So when you get the upgrade, which is available, of course, here at Hustle or any Tippmann dealers, or even from Tippmann themselves, you'll get the instructions, which, of course, you guys won't need because you're watching the video, and then the trigger itself, and the new lighter weight spring. That's pretty much it. But that's really all you need. Now, first things first, you have to actually get into the gun. To do that, you're going to need two tools, a 5/64 Allen key and a 1/8. Now, Tippmann does, of course, suggest you take the battery out of your marker. This being a new gun doesn't have one, but if you did need to do that, take your 5/64, go ahead and unscrew the grip here. Once you have the grip off, don't lose the screws. And the other thing you need to do to actually remove the trigger itself, take the safety, switch it to that position, which is obviously blocked when the grips are on, and you can remove the safety. Set that aside, don't lose that either. Take your 1/8, unscrew the grip frame screws down here, which on new guns are pretty stiff. This is one of the things I really like about the crossover, that there's no wires or anything that run from the grip frame up into the marker. A lot of Macrolines markers do have that problem as well. You forget when you try to take this stuff off. Crossover, however, just use these small 4-pin connectors. So once you have that separated, you can pull the body halves apart, like that. Take the grip frame itself, put it to the side. And here's the trigger system. Now, as we discovered when we were playing around with this, when we were installing it for the first time, this is your existing spring right here. And it will go flying and find the nearest vent pretty much immediately upon taking this out if you're not careful. So just be mindful of that. As always with these videos, guys, clean, dry surface, a place where, you know, if something does fly off and say hit a box or whatever, it's not just going to disappear. Now to get it out, take your 5/64, or you might need a smaller one. Go ahead and push the push pin down. That'll allow you to extract it. You may need some pliers, but we've done this on this one before, so we know whether or not if it's too tight. Take, of course, the old pieces, get them out of your way. Don't lose the push pin, because that will happen too. That was another thing that happened to us when we were first doing this. Once everything's out of the way, the push pin should move around pretty freely. Grab the parts. Now this is the part we were talking about with the spring. This is your new spring. You can install it if you would like. It will make your trigger feel like mush and terrible and hate. So I would encourage throwing this away. Now they do include it because they have to, but honestly, just get rid of it. It will ruin all the hard work really that you're doing here. Once you have the trigger, don't put it in backwards. Get the trigger pin out of the way. I'm trying to make sure I don't lose it for you guys. Drop the trigger system in place into the little slot, and you'll feel a lock onto the magnet. If it's actually on the magnet, it's usually too far forward. Then just push this right on through. You might have to work it in a little bit to actually get it to align correctly, but you know, just be careful, go slow, and it will eventually pop through. There we go. There we go. Cool. And that's it. It will be the single biggest improvement that your crossover really can have. Once it's installed, just reverse the process. Take your grip frame, slide it up into place, which is surprisingly painless once you've done it before. The major alignment is the gas transfer tube, which goes up into the trigger assembly. Once that's there, of course, reinstall your safety. Rotate it past the first position where you can install it, and then start screwing it back together. There you have it, newly installed trigger on your Tippmann crossover. It will feel much, much better. You'll immediately notice a difference as soon as you install it and gas it up and use it. It is a significant improvement to what is already a very good, solid paintball marker. So there it is, guys, the upgraded trigger on the Tippmann crossover. As you saw, very easy to install, and if you're buying considering a new crossover, you don't even need to worry about it. This is only for people who have owned existing ones prior to this upgrade. Now, of course, you know, ergonomics are the most important part of this style of marker, and this really was the last hang-up the crossover had. So now, I really can't think of any reasons why someone shouldn't give this marker a very hard look when they're looking at entry-level electronic markers like these. Of course, you can get the trigger upgrade and the crossover itself at hustlepaintball.com. If you have any further suggestions for any of our new videos, because we do like hearing them, sometimes it's hard for us to come up with our own ideas all day, email us at videos@hustlepaintball.com. Of course, follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook. We're always on there. You can talk to myself, Eric, all the guys. We spend a lot of time on our various social media outlets. Subscribe to us on YouTube if you haven't already. I don't know why you haven't. Mostly because we have a lot of actually very exciting stuff coming up here very soon. I hope you guys will enjoy it when we finally get it all produced and put together for you guys. Last but not least, of course, is pbriot.com. I know we say it a lot, but that's because it's worth saying a lot. Go there, sign up. It's an awesome community. I can guarantee you guys will like it. Until next time, guys, have a good afternoon.